Right. Good afternoon, Ivan. Hurry. Okay. Right. Pudha, it's like this, right? So we are going to commence 2028 batch for English medium classes, right? So since today is our first day, right, I'll give you, that's what I was planning, I'll give you a brief explanation about our syllabus and all the other stuff, right? Right. Beforehand, I'll explain you how the process is being done and what is my background and what are our results and stuff like that for your understanding as well, right? So keep this as our introduction session, right? From today onwards, we are starting our classes. This will be a 2-year kind of a course, right? 2 years means it's about, to be exact, it's about 27-month course, I would say, right? So during this 27 months of time period, I'll be covering you 14 unit syllabus, right? I'll explain you everything. Just listen very relaxedly and carefully. And we have a dedicated tute pack. I will show you, right? So we'll be having a dedicated tute pack, and we are starting lessons once you all get these tutes, right? For that you can physically come to Ziyon and make the payment and get the tute pack. You can make some online payments and get the stuff for your hand, right? So once you receive this by the second day, next class day, then we can start discussing these two, the first lesson. So today going to be an introductory session, but I'm teaching you something very important throughout the course of these 2 years. And then from next week onwards, we can commence the first lesson, unit 1 of advanced level syllabus, right? So that's what I'm planning. That's my hope. So first of all, I'll tell you what is our chemistry syllabus, what is advanced level chemistry syllabus and stuff, right? I need your support. I need loud answers from physical students and online guys also. You just carefully attend to what I'm saying and get the things well systematically organized in your mind, right? For the first few weeks, except to this English language, I'll be using Sinhala here and there as well. Sinhala podaku katha karනවා, since you guys have to get familiarized with the process, but surely that won't be the technical stuff. That would be some, what you call the flow containing kind of stuff. Flow එක maintain කරන්න, I would be using some Sinhala words here and there, but mainly subject will be taught by English, right? Right, so it's like this Buddha on medical udaganda. When you do chemistry for advanced level, right, it is a 14 unit syllabus, right? Chemistry syllabus, advanced level chemistry syllabus has 14 units. I'm going to explain each and everything today, right? So it's 14 units. I would say this is like a house, right? Let's assume we are constructing a house within this 2 years period of time, right? That contains 14 blocks. Blocks 14ක් තියෙන house එකක් construct කරනවා වගේ වැඩක් මේක. So it's like this Buddha. You know, when we are constructing a house, we are laying a solid foundation, ne? That's what, no? අපි නිකන් ගිහලා bare land එකක we don't construct a house, ne? So we have to have a solid foundation. On top of that foundation only, we are constructing our walls, we are putting our roof and get the things going on, isn't it? Yes or no? I need loud answers from physical guys. Yes or no, Buddha? Louder. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on, men. Yes, I need very loud answers, huh? Please, otherwise I can't continue this. It's become boring, no? So it's like a house, right? So it has a foundation, right? On top of that foundation, I mean, I'm telling about the chemistry syllabus only, yeah? On top of this foundation, there are 3 pillars, right? There are 3 pillars of construction, right? 3 pillars are there, right? On top of everything, we have a solid, nice shed, right, which is a roof. So I would say chemistry is like this, right? So you can keep the house in your mind and compare it with what I'm saying here. Foundation has to be very solid because only on top of foundation all these been constructed, right? So foundation has 3 units to be covered. You have 3 units to be covered to lay the foundation of the subject, right? Right. On top of this foundation, there are 3 sections and this, right? So collaboratively, collectively, unit 1, 2 and 3, right, is said to be general chemistry. Keep these things in mind. You don't need to memorize this stuff, but keep this thing in mind leisurely. So the foundation is general chemistry. General chemistry means the area of the subject where all the students worldwide who sit for university entrance exams must know this knowledge, right? Based on the country, whether you are studying for your university entrance in USA or UK or Australia, 10% of the subject can be differ, but 90% the core of the subject is same worldwide, right? So this first 3 lessons contains types of bonds. You have you have heard these words, covalent bonds, ionic bonds and stuff, ne? So ane bond types kena kiyano. And we are studying about what do you call the structure of atom, how electronic configurations of elements are written, stuff like that we are discussing. අපි ඒ වගේ දේවල් තමයි discuss කරන්නේ මේ core lessons වල. හරි? So this lays the foundations for university entrance level comprehensive chemistry. This is going to be very, very comprehensive when compared to the O-level science which you did recently, right? Right. Once these first 3 lessons, once this general chemistry section is done, then comes the core areas of the A-level syllabus. Right? We have 3 core areas. First area is said to be inorganic chemistry, right? Inorganic chemistry. Second area is said to be organic chemistry, right? Third area is said to be physical chemistry, right? Inorganic chemistry, organic chemistry and physical chemistry are the 3 main areas of the syllabus. So this is the business end, right? This is the major part of the syllabus, right? Under inorganic chemistry, we learn about elements and compounds separately, which is an in-depth kind of analysis. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි magnesium කියන element එකේ reactions කොයි වගේද? How magnesium responds to acids, how magnesium responds to bases, how magnesium is reacted with water. වගේ particular elements ගැන in-depth study කරනවා. And we study about compounds as well. Ammonia කියන compound එක, right? How ammonia is reacted as a base. How ammonia is reacting in front of active metals. How ammonia is responded to non-metals. ඒ වගේ elements and compounds ගැන in-depth study කරනවා inorganic chemistry වල, which is one part of the subject, one core area of the subject. Right. Out of 14 unit syllabus of chemistry, we have 14 units to be covered during this 2 to 27 month. 2 years means 24 to 27 month of the time period. We have to cover these 14 units. So the 6th unit, first 3 lessons comes under general chemistry, as I told you. The 6th unit will be covering this inorganic part. 6th unit එක තමයි inorganic part එක cover කරන්නේ, right? Right. Then comes organic chemistry. Organic chemistry refers to the area of which chemical processes associated with, I would say, organic means, I would say, active or live species. Chemical reactions and chemical processes associated with live species. And it's like this, right? When a particular food is going through our digestive system, අපේ digestive system එක through food එකක් යනකොට, you know it digests, නේ? How it digests? O-level science. How it digests? some strong acids will be secreted and they will decompose the complex molecules into simple part. That is called digestion. In simple terms, am I correct? Or yes or not? Talk means please. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So that is called digestion. No. So it's a chemical process. A reaction is occurring within a lively system. Human body is a lively system. No. So it's a chemical reaction which is occurring within a lively system. Right. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Where the photosynthesis happens? Where it occurs? Inside chlorophylls. Am I correct? So inside leaves rather. Right. So it's a lively system. When processes, chemical processes occurs within a lively system, that kind of processes, that kind of reactions are collectively said to be organic reactions. The area of which we study about these chemical phenomena available in these lively systems is organic chemistry. Right. Under organic chemistry, we have 4 lessons to be covered. Right. Lesson, otherwise unit number 7, 8, 9 and 10 will be categorized under organic chemistry. So, first 3 lessons will be there under general chemistry. 6th lesson will be there under inorganic chemistry. Lesson number 7, 8, 9 and 10 will be covered under organic chemistry. And then comes the third core area of the syllabus, which is physical chemistry. Physical chemistry, as the name implies, physical chemistry means the study of involvement of physical parameters for chemical process. What are physical parameters? Maybe in the physics you will be learning these stuff future. Right? Physical parameters means, some examples I would say, a temperature. The temperature is a physical parameter. Pressure. Physical state of a chemical compound. I would say whether it is in the powder form or which is in the particulate form, which is in the gaseous form or liquid form or whatever. The physical state, it is a physical parameter. So, some reactions becomes more faster when we change the physical state of reactants. Am I correct or not? Right? We can showcase the reaction between zinc and HCl by using zinc pieces or zinc powder. Right? The rate of the reaction, you would have learned these things in O-level syllabus, no? The rate of the reaction differs whether we are using zinc particles or whether we are using zinc powder. So the physical state of a reactant affects the rate of a reaction. Right? Reaction of sodium with water under room temperature is very vigorous. It reacts very fast. If we can use steam or hot water to react with sodium particles, sodium pieces, it is uncontrollable, which is uncontrollably fast. You understand what I am saying? Again, a temperature. So the temperature is a physical parameter which affects the chemical process. So here, under physical chemistry, we study the impact of physical parameters like temperature, pressure, physical state, etc. The impact of these physical parameters for chemical processes. That's what we are studying. Right? So these are more complicated, more analytical, more mathematics involved kind of chemistry lessons. So these are more memorizing, normal science kind of chemistry lessons. Right? So that's how it goes. So under physical chemistry, we have 2 phases of study. During the part 1, physical chemistry part 1, we are going to study about 4th lesson and 5th lesson. Physical chemistry part 1 will be covering these 2 lessons. Lesson number 4 and lesson number 5. Physical chemistry part 2, more comprehensive second part of physical chemistry, right, will be covering unit 11, 12 and 13. Right? Unit 11 and 12, 13 will be covered under physical chemistry second part. Right. Now you see how the pathway goes. we are studying first lesson, second one and third one. These are more, I would say, sequential kind of lessons, right? We have to finish off first lesson to come up with the second one. Once first two lessons are being done, we can move into three, but third one is more independent from first two. These are very interrelated. These are very interrelated. So we can't proceed into second lesson unless we are done with the first one. But third lesson can be studied parallelly to first two lessons. There is no relationship between first and second and third, right? So it's like this, Buddha. We have to go with first two lessons, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. Then we jump into the first part of physical chemistry, unit 4 and unit 5. Once it is done, we move into inorganic, unit 6. Organic can be done parallelly, unit number 7, 8, 9 and 10. Once everything is over, we can jump into the more comprehensive physical chemistry units, which is unit number 11, 12 and 13. Right. Once these core areas are being covered, right, this will take about some time. I'll be telling you the time frame and all later. I'm just carrying you with the syllabus, right? So this is a little journey within the syllabus. Once all these major parts has been done, right, then we move on to the last lesson of the syllabus, right, which is the roof of this house, which covers all these walls, foundation and everything, right? Under 14th lesson, which is the last lesson, we are covering industrial and environmental chemistry. That is the 14th lesson, industrial and environmental chemistry. Industrial and environmental chemistry means we are studying, this is more fascinating, right? This is more fascinating and more practical. Industrial chemistry means the area of the subject where we study how the chemistry theories and concepts of these inorganic, organic and physical main core areas are being collaborated to run a particular, chemistry related business. You know, chemistry has a lot of business, no? Most of the guys who are graduated with these chemistry specials and chemical engineering first degrees, they are employed into more and more chemical industries, no? So we have paint manufacturing industries, no? We have pharmaceutical manufacturing industries. We have, I would say, food and beverage manufacturing industries, ne? Jams, sauce, food and beverage manufacturing industries. And further, we have some research-based industries. You know, NASA is one of the world's leading research institute. So there are similar companies, bodies, entities as well, like FDA, Food and Drug Authority in USA. Those are very high-end research-based organizations, right? So industrial chemistry is a combination of all these inorganic, organic and physical pillars built on top of this general knowledge, right? So which is been structured to drive for profit-making businesses, right? And you know, we have to keep an eye on our environment as well. Yes, we have to make money, we have to run our businesses, we have to develop our industries using our chemistry knowledge, but it has to be environmental friendly, no? Otherwise we harm our environment, which is not going to be more sustainable than after. So how we run these industries in a sustainable way by conserving our environment. So the environmental conservation part will also be there. So the industrial and environmental chemistry, those are very broad areas when it comes to higher studies. I have my master's in environmental engineering, right? So those areas will be very summarized and very shorter formly delivered to you using this 14th lesson, which is said to be industrial chemistry and environmental chemistry. So, this lesson එකේ මේවා මෙහෙම බොහොම short form එකෙන් summarize කරලා ලස්සනට දෙනවා. හරි? එතකොට මෙන්න මේ විදිහට sections 6කට we have 6 sections because this is a combination of 2 sections. So sections 6කට lessons 14ක් නිකන් construct කරනවා වගේ project එකක් තමයි we are going to start from today onwards. හරි. So I'm explaining you what our mission is, what our project is. So this is what we have to do. Right. So once this particular syllabus is covered, හරිද? අපි මේ syllabus එක cover කරනවා කියලා කියන්නකො ළමයි. Once this particular syllabus is covered, මේක cover කරාට පස්සේ we have to write a paper නේ. So the A-level timetable එකේ when it comes to your A-level timetable, chemistry subject will be appeared in 2 particular days. First day you will have your MCQ paper where you get 50 MCQs, right? For the each question you have 5 answers. Out of that 5 you have to select most appropriate one. For that 50 MCQs you will be getting 50 marks. And 1 or 2 days will be given as a break. Once the break is over, the essay paper comes into play where you have 4 structured kind of questions where you have to write short answers and 6 essay questions, out of which you have to select 4 and write your answers. So essay questions 6ක් දෙනවා. 4කට ලියන්න තියෙන්නේ. Structured 4 compulsory. You have no selection there. You have to anyhow write the answers for all 4 questions. එතකොට for that essay paper you are getting a mark out of 50. When we are moving further I can tell you more and more explanations. Let's just keep this as a very short recap. So for that also you are getting mark out of 50. 50 ලකුණක් වාට එකෙත් එනවා. Right? එතකොට මේ if I tell you the mark distribution among these sections, it's like this, Puda. Usually for general chemistry questions, these first 3 lessons, you are getting about 10% of marks. Again, A-level paper එකේ, chemistry paper එකේ ලකුණු 100න් how many percentage of marks can be obtained from general chemistry lessons? 10%. මේ ටික හොඳට පුළුවන් නම් 10% is secured. Right? But that is not the value of general chemistry. That is not the value, right? General chemistry වල තියෙන value එක තමයි පුතා, it lays the foundation for inorganic, organic and physical, right? Inorganic chemistry, from inorganic chemistry you are getting about 20% of marks. So paper එකේ ලකුණු 100න් ලකුණු 20ක් inorganic questions වලින් තමයි එන්නේ, right? From organic you are getting about another 20% of marks. 20 20 10 means 50, right? From these physical chemistry lessons, physical chemistry is the largest section of the syllabus, covers 5 out of these 14 lessons, right? From physical chemistry you are getting about 40% of marks. So 40% of marks out of this 100% will be from physical chemistry, right? So 10%, 20%, 20%, 40%, right? 90% altogether. The remaining 10% of the marks will be from 14th lesson, which is industrial and environmental chemistry. Understood? So we have 6 sections covering 14 units. I will be taking 25 months of your time for this particular process. How much time? How much of time, man? Talk louder. 25 months, right? So this is 2026 March. We have 10 months in this year. We have 12 months in 2027, which is 22 altogether. And by 31st of March 2028, which is 5 months prior to your exam. Your exam will be held on 2028 August, no? 5 months prior to your exam, at the end of March 2028, I'll be covering whatever the things to be studied, read repetitively and memorize. If something is remaining before 5 months to the exam, after 25 months of this taught process, it will be some lessons or some subtopics with mathematical sums where you have nothing to be studied. You simply do mathematical simplifications and workouts together with me. Nothing to be studied. All studying kind of lessons will be covered 5 months prior to your exam, which is the end of March 2028. Keep my word, right? I'll be keeping my word also, keep it noted. I'll be covering those lessons. I mean, that's the speed that I'm going to maintain, right? So now you have an understanding about syllabus, as far as I think now you have an understanding, right? Right. Then comes our process. I told you, no, I'm going to focus on 3 main areas today for the first 1 hour or so. Right. What is chemistry syllabus? What is the structure of chemistry syllabus? And how we are going to cover it? What is our process in covering of these chemistry syllabus? And who I am, who's going to conduct the classes to cover that particular target or else achieve that particular target. Right, so how we cover our lessons, how we cover these 14 lessons within 25 months of time, right? So it's like this, Buddha. Today, I won't be starting first lesson. I will be starting the first lesson on next class day. Right? Next class day is Friday, 13th March, right? The time slot would be 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. 2:30 to 5:30, Friday 13th March. So the Friday evening would be the permanent time slot. It won't be changed thereafter. Only for the start, I took this Wednesday slot. This is not the permanent slot. That I'll explain you later. You don't need to worry about that. You have repeat classes. You have all the options of the world to get the things covered, right? Just keep what I'm doing. It's like this, Lamai. By that day, by 13th, you must be having your tute pack, right? Physical students, you can get these tutes from the institute counter. Online students, you have 2 options. Either you can go to what you call CCG online website and get the things couriered into your doorstep, or else you can log into e-chemistry website and get the things to your doorstep. I'll be explaining those things at the end of this session. Right? It's like this, Buddha. In this tute pack, you have every material you need to cover the first lesson, right? First lesson. So you have a past paper question book, which is said to be the PPQ book, and you have the main tute of first lesson, right? Unit 1 tute, and you have workbook of this first lesson. I'll be explaining you everything, right? The main material, the major material would be this atomic structure tute. මේ tute එක තමයි main material එක වෙන්නේ. හරි? Right. These lessons are very lengthy, not like your O-level lessons. The O-level කාලේ lesson එකක් මට කියන්න class එකේ ඉන්න දරුවෙක් O-level lesson එකක maximum intent එක. What was the longest O-level science lesson? I mean, how long it was? Was it 1 month, 2 months, 3 months or 4 months when you were covering your O-level science classes? The longest one? How long it took? 2 months? 2 months. Right, the longest one is 2 months maximum. Less than 2 months most probably, right? Right. Let's say maximum you took 2 months. But this is not like that, Buddha. 6th lesson itself will take about 4 to 5 months. Right? 12th lesson will take about 4 to 5 months. So that is simple. That is, chemistry is simple. When it comes to physics, the lesson number 3, as if I am not mistaken, as far as I know, lesson number 3, which is mechanics, that lesson will take about 10 to 12 months of coverage, nearly a year, right? First year ekam wage yano. And when it comes to biology, 5th lesson about human body, human systems and stuff, which is also taking about 10 to 11 months for covering. So these are very lengthy lessons, right? We have very lengthy lessons when it comes to bio and math streams of A-level. A-level biomass stream වල තියෙන එන්න පත lessons, right? මේ මම ඔයාලට කියන්න ගියේ, since these lessons, the first lesson of chemistry will be extended about 3 to 4 months of time. මේකට මාස 3ක් විතර මට යනවා. Right, listen to me. Since these are very, very lengthy lessons, this take a lot of time. To ease of delivering these lessons, I have divided these lessons into small units. So the first lesson එක මම units, පොඩි units 12කට විතර කඩලා තිනවා. Right? So those are named to be chapters. මම මේ lesson එකක් ඇතුලේ තියෙන පොඩි units වලට කියන්නේ chapters කියලා. එතකොට when it comes to this particular tute, you get your stuff under several chapters. Chapter 1, history of atomic structure. Right, listen to me, right? Pudha, listen carefully. So you don't need to bring notebooks for chemistry, nothing. You have to write everything here. But you must be having several rough papers so that you can do additional examples, additional sums there in your rough papers. Right? Main note is this. You have to fill these things and go ahead. I don't need to put you in trouble. Right? So the first part is history of atomic structure. Under history of atomic structure part, right? We have several subtopics. We are studying about the historical story of discovering electron, the historical story of discovering proton and stuff like that. We have everything in this. And we have some QR codes here and there. You know, chemistry is more or less a practical kind of a subject, right? When we go into demonstration of properties of cathode rays, let's assume we are studying about electromagnetic waves, I would say. If I want you guys to go more deep regarding the properties of these electromagnetic waves, if I want you to study more deeper, you can scan this QR code, a link would be popping up, right? So that will direct you to maybe our e-chemistry website or else YouTube channel or whatever, where you can get animated videos or such kind of stuff regarding that particular lesson. You know, these video lessons and video stuff are being embedded into these QR codes so that you can visualize and get the things more and more comprehensively understood. Right? So it's like this, Buddha. Coming back to my thing. So we have several chapters. So this is the main unit, right? I mean, these are very high quality tubes. That's why we brand ourselves as Sri Lanka's most premium chemistry program. You know, when it comes to Sinhala medium, we are right at the top there. We have all the topmost results. We have huge number of students associated with our process. But this is the first time of English medium entrance, I would say. So it's like this, right? So these are well famous among these Sinhala medium students. You know, when it comes to chemistry, we have to study about these colors, frequencies and wavelengths kind of stuff. For those things, we have full colored printouts and color printing as well. So these are very high standard, high cost, high quality, high end kind of tubes. Right? For your ease of understanding, we are coming with these color diagrams and everything. So everything will be there in the tube. So the lesson content will be divided into several sections. Right? You have very systematically delivered, very systematically constructed, high quality tube, which is our main material. I mean, I'm explaining you how we are going to cover these syllabus within 25 months. Since most of the parts are there, you don't need to write each and everything. No, you don't need to write examples in your notebook. Everything is here. So it saves our time. That's how I'm going to finish off your syllabus within 5 months prior to your exam. That's how we expedite our process. Right? So once the theories, all the appropriate relevant theories been discussed here in the class under particular chapter, particular subsection of the unit, then we move into our workbook. So this is a workbook which is a 70-page kind of a huge tube, which contains about 400 questions of first lesson. So all these questions are also being classified under chapters. Let's say we are finishing the first chapter of the thing, history of atomic structure. So the questions, we have 100 odd questions from first chapter. Understood what I'm saying? So this is being made using provincial papers. Past papers, I mean past kind of papers, I mean spanning 1980 to 2000 like. අරවුරුදු 1980 ඉඳන් 2000 විතරනකන් තියෙන past papers පරණ syllabus වල තියෙන past papers වල ප්‍රශ්න, provincial papers, school papers, term test papers, English books වලින් ගත්ත ප්‍රශ්න. ඒ වගේ this contains a good bank of questions. This is a question bank, I would say. This is called workbook. Once all the theories is done for the chapter 1, then we move on to workbook and finish off all these exercises, which covers all the applications regarding that particular chapter from provincial papers and earlier past papers and English books and stuff. Once theory tube and workbook is covered for chapter 1, then we move on to this PPQ book, which is past paper question book. Right. This contains questions from last 25 years, which is 2001 to 2025. Right? So these past paper questions also been categorized, classified. Once chapter 1 is studied, you get all the past paper questions for last 25 years from chapter 1. Understood what I'm saying? Chapter 1 වලින් ආපු ඔක්කොම past paper questions ටික මේකේ තියෙනවා. Right? All the past paper questions from chapter 1 will be there. So once theory is done, we are covering all these huge sum of exercises and we do past paper questions for last 25 years. ඔන්න ඔය විදිහට කරාම තමයි පළවෙනි chapter එක complete වෙන්නේ. So then we say we are done with first chapter, the history of atomic structure is done. Right. Once everything is done, we move into second chapter. Same thing will be happening there. Once first two chapters are being done, we move on to third chapter. That's how we go. Once in a while, continuous assessments under the name of spot test. Spot test කියන නමින් continuously our assess කරන assessments will be held. So the පළවෙනි spot test එක will be there after first chapter. Second, third chapters දෙක ඉවරනම second එකේ. Third, fourth, fifth chapters වගේ වෙනම I'll tell you the order later. So එහෙම වුණාම spot test තනින් තන එනවා to assess you how you have absorbed these lessons for last 1 month or so. මාසයකට දෙකකට විතර සැරයක් පැයක විතර පොඩි test එකක් as in the form of spot test will be there. So spot test මම 25ක් කරනවා. So මේ විදිහට question banks, workbooks, past paper books and tudes ඔය ටික ඔක්කොම cover වෙන ගමන් spot test ටිකකුත් කරනවා. එහෙම තමයි මම මේ chapters ටිකේ ඔය structure එකෙන් මේ syllabus එක cover කරන්නේ. That is how the syllabus will be covered. Right. Time 25 months, 5 months prior to exam. All the theoretical parts will be done except to some questions. And this is the process that I'm going to looking. And now you have a very clear idea and so you have to be very thorough with the process. So most of the single medium, so you know last year we had island first, and except to that island first we had 8 out of first 20 rankers. That is something very, very serious, Lamaya. You just go through of the profiles of other lecturers, they don't have 8 out of first 20 rankers and island first during their entire tuition career. They would have doing tuition for last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years or so. Sometimes they don't have island first. Sometimes they don't have not 8, at least 1 or 2 out of first 20. Right? So that is very outstanding. How we attained that was carrying out these processes. You know, people cannot make results. Nirandika, Jayawardena solely cannot do anything. Right? It's only the process. Processes develop, construct results. May process you are not getting anything similar to this from many English medium classes, no? So I'm giving you whatever the available stuff for the single medium classes, I'll be translating and delivering to you. So you are getting exact the same course as these 1,000 odd students are getting under these English single medium classes. So that's how it goes. So we have continuous assessments called spot tests. We have nice program of doing theory part. We have workbook series to cover up continuous exercises. We have past paper books, PPQ books to cover up past paper questions of last 25 years. Right? So everything will be happening very systematically in that promised manner for all these 14 lessons throughout the period of time we are having. And you will be getting whatever the knowledge that you want. And further, I'm explaining you more and more. For online or island-wide kind of students, right? You have to come, you have to attend to the live class as much as you can. Where we have a Telegram group, right? All of your WhatsApp channel, in your WhatsApp channel, I'll be putting a link of a Telegram channel. Telegram is a different app which has more features to manage mass number of students rather than WhatsApp. So we are using Telegram apps. So a Telegram channel, I'll be dropping you a link of a group called Ask from NJ. So for the online students, they go into that particular group. When I'm commencing a live session, you can go to that group and write whatever the questions you have. I'm using my laptop here, and once in a while when others are doing a mathematical example or whatever, I'm answering all the questions that you guys are asking from me, except to these TUT, class fee payments and general stuff regarding the subject. During the live sessions, you can ask anything. So that is how we are conducting the session. I mean, when it comes to 13th, which is next Friday, you have to, online guys I'm telling, you have to download this Telegram app, get subscribed into this Ask from NJ group, and you have to well prepared. So you can ask anything. When I'm asking, is everything clear, you have to drop a message, clear sir, or whatever like this, or at least thumbs up emoji, so that I'm getting your involvement throughout the session. For the physical students, you can directly ask anything. You can write a chit and send to the front, right? All the options are there for you, Puta. And you can ask anything after the class also. Any clarification, any extra thing you can ask from me. So that is how the process is going to be there. Understood what I'm saying? So that is what we are going to do here, right? So that's it I have to say at the beginning of the process, right? Most of the things being told, if there is anything, I'll tell you during the course, right? So shall we start a little kind of lesson, right? So you have to have your TUT pack by 13. That's a must. It's a compulsory thing. You have to order and get your TUT packs, because I'm starting first TUT based lessons next day, which is 13th. For today, I was planning to do a small kind of subtopic, a sub-lesson kind of a thing, which will be very, very important throughout the course of A-level chemistry program. I'm going to teach you about the mole. Maula ganang O-level kale was troubling you a little bit, no? Ned? Isn't it? Yes or no? Goluwantu gannanawa wage. That's how I feel like. Yes or no? You don't need to take your brand new CR book for this. No point of. At least take the last page of it, or else if you have handbills or any rough sheets, take those stuff. I would be working with you for 1 hour or so, and we'll study about the concept mole. Then you will feel like, all right, very confident about my classes. This is the best path. You will feel like everything then. Right. Write down a small lesson we are going to discuss covering GCE O-level. This is not related to A-levels. I'm just summarizing a O-level lesson, but will be very useful throughout the course of chemistry study. Right? The mole. The mole. Symbol is simple N. The mole symbol is simple N. Simple N is the symbol. The mole. Right. Lamai. Right. We'll study about that, right? What is a mole? How do you define? You did your O-levels very recently. So, sir, good O-level karla mata kuna kiyanna bෑනේ. You have no excuses as at now. Right. Tell me, what is a mole? If you can't collectively answer me, I can point out and ask individually to answer. The online guys also, you just think of what is a mole. Or ask from NJ group, you have to download it by next session, please. Because I need your active interference. This is going to be a more, two-way communicated session. I don't want to dictate terms and go. It's not the way, right? You have to get involved with the process. What is a mole? Yeah, tell me, Buddha. The amount of matter, right? The amount of matter, yes. Amount of matter is represented as in the form of moles, no? So mole is a representation of amount of matter. If I step down more simpler, mole is a word, right, being used to represent certain amount of matter. Mole is a word used to represent a certain amount of matter. දැන් O level කාලේ මවුල ගණන් අමාරුයි. ඒක concept එක පැත්තකින් තියන්න. මාත් එක්ක fresh පිට පැයක් ඉගෙන ගමු. 4 pm to 5 pm කියන පැය just work freshly with me. Right. You know පුතා, to represent two pieces of whatever the thing, we use the word called pair. Am I correct or not? Two slippers can be said as what? A pair of slippers. Am I correct? Two shoes can be said as a pair of shoes. Two balls can be said as a pair of balls. Am I correct? Two dogs, I would say, two dogs can be said as a pair of dogs. That is there, no? Pair means a word, right? Pair means a word which represents two pieces of particular unit. Right? That's pair. Similarly, there's a word called dozen. Have you heard of? Have you heard of? Dozen represents how many pieces of units? Didn't get. Louder. Right. 12. If we get 12 pieces of slippers, it can be said as in the form of a dozen of slippers. If we get 12 pieces of shoes, it can be presented as in the form of a dozen of shoes. Understood what I'm saying? If we get a group of 12 students, it can be collectively said as a dozen of students. Dozen means a word which represents 12 pieces of particular unit. Right? Likewise, mole represents 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 pieces of particular thing. Particular thing. Understood? 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number of electrons. Now you say me. Can be said as a mole of electrons. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number of atoms can be said as what? Talk lamai please. Can be said as what? A mole of atoms. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 cars can be said as what? A mole of cars. Please talk louder. I'm telling you again and again now. Otherwise it's so, what do you call? It make me more fatigued then. Huh? That's not good. Truly that's not good. We are not familiar to that way. 2 of cars is said to be a pair of cars. 12 of cars can said to be a dozen of cars. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 cars is said to be a mole of cars. Mole is a word. It's simply a word which represents 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number of pieces of particular unit or particular species. Understood what I'm saying? Right. This particular figure, the 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 figure is known to be Avogadro's constant. What it said to be? It's said to be Avogadro's constant. It has a unit also. Unit is per mole. Per mole. This is Avogadro's constant. Right? Shall we write down a little note? Write down, will you? නිකන් කටුවැඩ කොලයක ලියන්න හරි. A one page work will be done today. මොකද මට ටියුට් එක නැතුව මගේ process එක කරන්න බෑ. You have to have your tunes by next session, please. Right. Write down this way me. Mole means a word which is being used. Mole means a word which is being used. Mole means a word which is being used Mole means a word which is being used to represent 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 pieces of particular species. Species කියලා කියන්නේ විශේෂයක් කියන්නනේ. Pieces of a particular species. මාකරි විශේෂයක කෑලි pieces මෙච්චර ගානකට කියන වචනයක් තමයි අපි මවුලයක් කියලා කියන්නේ. Mole is a word which is used to represent 6.022 pieces of particular species. Right. අපි example එකකට යන් රුලක් අතල්ලා example, right? Examples. නිකන් examples කියලා පැරා එකක ලියන්න. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 numbers of electrons. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 numbers of electrons. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number of electrons are said to be a mole of electrons, comma 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 numbers of molecules. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number of molecules are said to be a mole of molecules, comma 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 numbers of cars, motor cars කියලා ලියමුනේ. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 numbers of motor cars. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 numbers of motor cars can be said as a mole of motor cars. Can be said as a mole of motor cars. Can be said as a mole of motor cars. A mole of motor cars. Etc. etc කියලා තිත් දෙක තුනක් දාන්න. Can be said as a mole of motor cars, etc. හරි දැන් O level කාලේ තිබ්බ අමාරුකම් පැත්තකින් තියන්න, right? Forget about those history. I'm guaranteeing you won't be suffering due to the lack of knowledge during your O level maths and science when it comes to A level processors of us. කියන්නේ අපේ process එක වල involve වුණොත් O level කාලේ තියෙන පොඩි knowledge shortages වලින් ඔයාට suffer වෙන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ, වදයක් වෙන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ පුතා. Because we have very systematic structure, we have 15 plus years of teaching experience, we have all the qualifications and stuff like that, right? So you won't be suffering from your stuff. I couldn't introduce you guys myself, right? මංගේ ගැන basic විස්තරයක් කියන්න බැරනවා, වරින් වර කියන්න නැතිනම් මං කියන්නම්, but most of the guys from Kurunegala, you know me, if I'm not mistaken. Right? It's like this, Puda. I did my scholarship exam in 1999, right? So from St. Anne's College. So St. Anne's was my first school. I was there from grade 1 to grade 5. Then I moved into, having obtained good marks for scholarship exams, I was the highest I had the highest marks. Then I moved into Malideva, right? From grade 6 onwards. Grade 6 to 11 period, I was playing cricket. I'm telling you the true story of mine, right? I was playing cricket. I was, limitlessly playing cricket, right? I had all 7-day practices from 2:30 to 6:30. Like Saturday and Sunday, I had full day practices and practice matches and tournament matches. I actually deviated from the studies, right? Even though I was the best result for grade 5 scholarship exam in St. Anne's in that particular year, mark my word, from grade 6 to grade 11, I wasn't there mainly in the top 5 of the class ranks. මම පන්තියේ 1 2 3 4 5 කියන first 5 positions වලින් ඉඳලම නැහැ. Only one time I was there. එකපාරයි හිටියේ. I became 8th of the class, I became 11th, I became 16th, I became 21st, 22nd, even 26th, 27th like. Because I was sacrificing all my time to cricket. Cricket was my passion. Even as at now, if someone asks you, Nirandika, whether you like cricket or chemistry, I would say cricket, right? So that's my passion. Everyone has a passion, no? So that's my passion, and I have some cricket-related investments and stuff like that as at now as well, right? So I was like that, right? I was mainly focusing on the cricket. But you know, before 3 months to the O-level exam, 3 months before to my O-level exams, which I sat on 2005, if I am not mistaken, I stopped playing cricket and did all the things. Again, mama cricket navattala studies ma kara එක දිගට මාස 3ක්. That was my preparation for O-level exam. I did O-levels in 2005. So by that time we had 10 subjects. I could obtain 10 A passes for all these subjects. So ඒ 10ක් මට ගන්න පුළුවන් වුණා මාස 3ක් විතර වැඩ කළා. Because O-level is that kind of exam. You know, මං හිතන්නේ most of the you guys also are having similar story to me, no? නේ කවුරුත් මේ පළවෙනි දවසේ ඉඳන් short note හදා O-level වලට most of the guys you didn't do like that. අන්තිම මාස 4ක් 5ක් you put a good effort. නේ එහෙමනේ. Results mage wage වේද නැද්ද දන්නේ නැහැ. That we can see from next 2 months. But anyway, so that was your story also, no? I mean, most of the students are from my caliber. I mean, did all these extracurricular and co-curricular things and then comes into A-level. Right? Listen to my story very carefully, Putta, because this is going to be very motivational and more similar to your one. Right? Anyway, after my O-levels, I chose math stream, right? So I did my A-levels in 2008 actually. 2008, I could obtain 3 A passes. I was Kurunegala district 2nd and I was the island 11th. And it's from Lankawe Kolaha, Kurunegala, Matsoling district 2nd. So it's a good kind of a result, no? It's a huge kind of a result. Island rank I could obtain, an island rank with a good set score and all. Then I moved into Moroto University. I spent first 6 to 8 months of my university life without playing cricket, without doing extracurricular things. I concentrated on studies. After first semester exam, literally it's after 6 months of admission or the entrance, Morotua, they conduct, the engineering faculty of Morotua conduct a kind of an exam. Based on the results of that exam only, you are being selected to particular departments, right? By the time I was doing that exam, electronics and telecommunication engineering was the topmost demanded field. Then came computer science engineering, then came electrical engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering. Chemical engineering was 6th and the last one was material science and engineering. Moroto had 7 fields by then. Right. So I had good results there. I was within top 50 of the batch. I could have selected whatever the field I want, maybe electronics, computer science, civil or whatever. Since I was very passionate about chemistry, I willingly selected chemical and process engineering. That's how I got into my profession called chemical and process engineering, which is the topmost qualification which can be obtained here in Sri Lanka, maybe worldwide, for the first degree related to chemistry. Throughout the world, that is the best qualification that can be obtained to study chemistry for your first degree. For your masters and doctorates, PhDs, you can get a lot of chemistry options. But for the first degree, chemical engineering is the topmost opportunity that you can get to study chemistry, right? So once I selected these chemical engineering thing, I worked so hard on it. By the time I started playing cricket again, and I started my tuition classes as well. I could do two parallel things, playing cricket and conducting classes when I was second year, third year and fourth year in the university. And I could develop some classes, right? I conduct in single medium classes, right? So I could start doing tuition. This is my 16th year of tuition, right? I could start doing tuition from 2 students, and I currently actually I'm having 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 batch per given year. So I could develop it. By the time I was the best player cricket, right, in the university, in 2 out of 4 years, which where I was there. My university අවුරුදු 4න් 2ක inter department moratorium tournament එකේ I was the best player cricket, and I was doing classes, I was playing cricket so hardly, and I did my studies to get a first class in chemical engineering degree as well. Right, once everything is done, then I couldn't play cricket. Then after I did my master's degree in environmental engineering, as I said, during the period of 2015 to 2017, I have my master's degree with me, and I conducted classes continuously. Now I conduct classes and I have my own research firm. I have my own chemistry related company, so that I apply these chemical concepts rather except to doing these classes as well. So anyway, that is my profile, right? That is me, who's Nirandika Jayawardena, who conduct your classes within 25 months. I mean, I conduct your classes for these 25 months to cover this syllabus and get you prepared to the 2028 A-level exam. So I'm asking you, I'm telling you one thing, Pudha. I'm telling you one thing. If you can find any stronger profile than mine, you can, yes, keep me away and select that profile as your chemistry lecturer, chemistry tutor for next 2 years or so. If you are not finding a stronger profile than my one, maybe which is half or quarterly, kind of very less stronger than my profile, mage profile එක තරම් strong profile එකක් වට හම්බෙන්නේ නැත්නම්, don't sacrifice my class on behalf of them, because I know better than them to accompany you to your destination. ඔයා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන target එකට අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්, because I don't need to assume and say how you can get island rank. ඔයාට island rank එකක් ගන්න කොහොමද කියලා මට assume කරලා කියන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. I am an island ranker by myself, right? So I don't need to tell you anything like that, because මගේ class එකෙන් island first වෙනකන් එන්න ඕනේ results ටික ඔක්කොම හම්බෙලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට I'm telling you, because tuition is very competitive. In most of the cases, you find more relax when you attend to some other classes. ඔයාලට සමහර classes වලට ගියාම දැනෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒකේ සිංහලෙනුත් වැඩිපුර කතා කරනවා, නිකන් more relax වගේ ගතියක්. But following that kind of courses, you won't be getting what you want. ඔයාට ඕනේ දේ මං හිතන්නේ මේ process වලින් හම්බෙන්නේ නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයාලා මං කියන එක දෙන්නම්. So I'm not pushing you. I have a very systematic and well structured program to the chemistry. I know chemistry very well. I have proven myself as a tutor, as a lecturer, as a student. In every ways I have proven myself. So follow my process, follow my speed, right? අපි විභාගයට මාස 5කට කලින් main content ටික ඔක්කොම ඉවර කරමු. මේ ටික මම කරන්න එකයි විදියට දේ ඔක්කොම ඉස්සර මම කියවා. So that's my story. That I couldn't introduce you myself නේ. So that's my story. Right. I just told you because I forgot to tell that. That's why, right? Right. Coming back to our topic. අන්තිමට අපි ලිව්වේ මොකද්ද? What was written last? Example එකද අපි ලිව්වේ? A mole of molecules, a mole of things. එහෙම කියලා ලියවා, right? Right. Me? This 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number, this is said to be which number? Avogadro's number, or else Avogadro's constant, represented by capital L, right? ලියන්න අලුත් paragraph එක example එකේ වැඩ උතනින් ඉවරයි. Further, come on. This 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number, further, come on. This 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number is known to be Avogadro's constant. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number is said to be, known to be Avogadro's constant. While it is defined as how you define this Avogadro's constant or the mole? What is the scientific definition? Have you come across this kind of definition? While it is defined as, don't write, number of carbon atoms available in exactly 12 grams of C12 isotope sample. Have you come across this kind of a definition? Yes or no? Goluwane, come on men. Yes or no? Have you come across this kind of a wording or definition? Huh? No. Anyway, write down, will you? You have to be very thorough with these stuff. Otherwise, you can't proceed in A-level syllabus. Right? Because these things are expected to be known. But from the reality, I know you guys, you are not thorough with these stuff. That's why I am doing these supporting kind of lessons. Right? And anyway, while it is defined as number of carbon atoms available in exactly 12.0000 grams. Exactly 12.0000. 4 zeros are there. 12.0000 gram sample of C-12 isotope. Exactly 12 gram sample of C12 isotope. What do you mean by C12 isotope? What are isotopes? Probably you would not know these things because you did O-levels 1 or 2 years ago. O-level science you must know these things. What are isotopes? Isotopes isotopes means, species of particular element where atomic number is same, mass number is different. Am I correct? Yes. Okay, nothing. Stay. Don't ever talk, right? Stay. That's better, no? Right? Carbon has 3 isotopes. Carbon has a species where the atomic number is 6 and mass number is 12. That is C12 isotope. That is the most common, most abundant one. Carbon has a species where mass number is 13. That is called carbon 13 isotope. Carbon has another species where mass number is 14. Means 6 protons and 8 neutrons available within the nucleus of that particular species. Am I correct? That is said to be carbon 14 isotope, which is radioactive. We are learning those stuff later. Right? So the number of carbon atoms available in exactly 12.0000 grams of carbon 12 isotope, which is defined to be defined as right? While it is defined as number of carbon atoms available in exactly 12 grams of carbon 12 isotope. Right, good. You may write down this as in the form of an equation. Right, this is Avogadro's constant. Right, මේක ලියලා කොටු කරන්න යටින් write down L equals Avogadro's constant equals 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 per mole. That is the unit of Avogadro's constant. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 per mole. That is a unit per mole. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 per mole. Right. යඩි ලියන්න මම මේ පොඩි ෂෝට් නෝට් එකක් හදන්නේ the mole. හරි හරි යඩි ලියන්න. You may write down underneath. We must be capable of calculating mole quantity of a given species calculating the mole quantity of a given species under several conditions. අපි A level වලට යද්දී කවුරු හරි species එකක mole quantity එක calculate කරන්න capable වෙන්න ඕනේ under different conditions. Mole quantity of a given species under different conditions. Right. Subtopic simple A, the mole කියන අපේ අද කතා කරන පොඩි lesson එකේ පළවෙනි subtopic එක මම simple ABC වලින් තමයි subtopics යන්නේ. Further subtopics වලට divide වුණොත් Roman numbers වලින් තමයි යන්නේ. මම එක flow එකක් හැම වෙලේම maintain කරනවා. right, එතකොට මේ lesson එකේ පළවෙනි subtopic එක subtopic simple A ලියන්න determining the mole quantity rule දෙක තුනකට ලියන්න. right, it will take 2 to 3 lines. Determining the mole quantity of a given species. Determining the mole quantity of a given species. Determining the mole quantity of a given species. Determining the mole quantity of a given species when number of atoms / molecules are given. Determining the mole quantity of a given species when number of atoms or molecules are given. Right. පුතා අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ මේ මොකක් හරි species එකක CH4 හරි CO2 හරි N2 හරි whatever the species for any given species to determine its mole quantity available within a given samples where number of molecules or atoms available in a sample is given. Right? Right. මෙන්න මේක තමයි relationship එක. You have to memorize this thing. What is the relationship? Number of moles available in a given sample equals number of atoms or molecules divided by Avogadro's constant. තේරෙනවද මම කියන එක? එතකොට මොකක් හරි chemical species එකක sample එකක තියෙන mole quantity එක සමාන වෙනවා, right? Mole quantity will be equal to number of atoms or molecules available within that particular sample divided by Avogadro's constant, which is 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23, right? So it's like this. In simple terms, the equation can be written in this way, but if I extend it, I can write in this way. Mole quantity denoted by simple n equals number of atoms or molecules, I would say n divided by Avogadro constant. Avogadro's constant, which is represented by capital L. So this is the relationship. This is how we calculate the mole quantity of a particular species when number of atoms or molecules available in the sample is given, right? Right. So මේක අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ දෙයක්, right? ලියන්න normal paragraph එකක simple A කියන subtopic එකට දාලා මෙහෙම you may write down the mole quantity of a particular species, 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 the mole quantity of a particular species can be determined by dividing its number of molecules, එක element එකක් නම් slash atoms, molecules වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්, atoms වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්, element එකක්ද compound එකක්ද කියන එක මත, by dividing its number of molecules slash atoms from Avogadro's constant, from Avogadro's constant. Within brackets you may write that is. How do you write that is in English? Have you seen this? I dot E. Have you seen this when you are reading books and all? You guys are not reading books, you know, which is not there in TikTok or YouTube or wherever, right? When you read more and more scientific books and all, I dot E, this symbolization can be seen, which means that is. Within brackets you may write the Avogadro constant, right? That is 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 per mole. මේක තමයි Avogadro constant එක කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒතකොට ලියපු තැන ඉස්සරහා වරහන් ඇතුලේ within brackets you may write that is 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 per mole. That is right. Equation එක ලියලා කොටු කරන්න. You may write down the equation and highlight it. Mole quantity simple n equals number of atoms slash molecules, which is capital L, capital N, which is capital N, divided by Avogadro's constant, which is capital L. Avogadro's constant, which is capital L. Avogadro's constant, which is capital L. Number of atoms or molecules, capital N, divided by Avogadro's constant, which is capital L. Right. Shall we do two examples? Right. O-level kale hadapu ganang. Now you can do it more easily. As far as I think this eases you up, you can do it more easily now. Right. Example 1. Determine determine example 1, determine number of CH4 moles, determine the number of CH4 moles available in a sample where 2.044 into 10 to the power of 24 CH4 molecules are in existence, Emilian, where 12.044 into 10 to the power of 23 CH4 molecules are in existence. Again, CH4 molecules are in existence. In existence. Where 12.044 into 10 to the power of 23 number of CH4 molecules are in existence. Right. 2 minutes is given to you. I need your answers. Cover live group join line and drop your answers there. Physically in Puda, please work out and come up with your answer. You are given a sample of CH4 where 12.044 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules are there. Right? You are supposed to calculate how many moles of CH4 can be seen there. So you have to do these simplifications. You have to come up with number of moles where number of available atoms or molecules are given. Right. How it is calculated? Number of moles N will be equivalent to what? Number of molecules divided by Avogadro's constant, right? So the number of molecules are given to be 12.044 into 10 to the power of 23. Avogadro's constant is a constant anyway. 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 per mole. Equal. Tell me, what's going to be happening? 6.022 will be simplified to this, where 2 is remain. Am I correct? Right, so 10 to the power of 23 will be simplified to 10 to the power of 23. What is going to be your final answer? 2 moles. 2 moles will be there. Am I correct? Raise your hands if you got the correct answer for this. This is one circumstance that you have to come across. Right, another example will be given. Example 2. Example 2. Right, you may write down. Determine number of SO2 atom molecules, determine number of SO2 molecules determine number of SO2 molecules determine number of SO2 molecules available in a sample number of SO2 molecules available in a sample where 0.4 moles of SO2 is contained. In a sample where 0.4 moles of SO2 is contained. Number of SO2 molecules available in a sample where 0.4 moles of SO2 is contained. 0.4 moles of SO2 is contained. Right, find the answer. Number of SO2 molecules available in a sample where 0.4 moles of SO2 is contained. SO2 0.4 moles තියෙන sample එකක SO2 molecules කොච්චරක් තියෙනවද කියලා calculate කරන්න කියනවා. You may write down the equation, substitute appropriately and come up with your final answer. Right, done. Here, right, lamai. In this case, number of molecules are expected to be calculated, right? Where the mole quantity is given, no? Right. What is the equation? N equals, the mole quantity equals number of molecules divided by Avogadro's constant, right? Number of moles, mole quantity is 0.4 moles. N is expected to be calculated where the Avogadro's constant is given as 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 per mole. Am I correct? Is it? Right. N, number of SO2 molecules available in the sample equals, right, I multiply this by this, 4 into 6 means 24.088. Is it 2.4088? Am I correct? Yes or no? Talk lamai, please. Yes or no? Right. Per mole and mole units will be cancelled off. So units නැති වෙලා යනවා ඒවා cancel වෙලා ගිහලා. So we are ending up with the answer 2.4088 into 10 to the power of 23. 2.4088 into 10 to the power of 23. So this is what we are getting at last. Raise your hands if you got this correct. Good. So this is the first checkpoint. When you are moving from O levels to A levels, you must be capable of determining mole quantity when the number of atoms or molecules of a given species is given and vice versa. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ මොකක් හරි ස්පීෂීස් එකක ඇටම්ස් ගන්න නැත්නම් මොලිකියුල්ස් ගන්න දුන්නාම මෝල් ක්වොන්ටිටි එකට යන්න වයිස් වර්සා කියන්නේ ඒක අනිත් පැත්තට කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ මෝල් ක්වොන්ටිටි එක දුන්නාම මේ සැම්පල් එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන යාගේ ඇටම්ස් ගන්න නැත්නම් මොලිකියුල්ස් ගන්න ඩිටර්මයින් කරන්න. Right? You must be thorough with these stuff. So the first checkpoint you got through. Good. Right. Then comes the second one. Right. You may write down subtopic simple B. Subtopic simple B. අපෝ රූල් දෙක තුනක් යන දිග subtopic එකක්. Right. Subtopic simple B. Determining the mole quantity of a given species. Determining the mole quantity of a given species. Determining the mole quantity of a given species. The mole quantity of a given species. Determining the mole quantity of a given species. When its sample mass within brackets simple m, when its sample mass එයාගේ sample එකේ mass එක, when its sample mass within brackets simple m, when its sample mass within brackets simple m and molar mass MOLAR, when its sample mass simple m and molar mass which is capital M, molar mass capital M is given. Determining of the mole quantity of a given species when its sample mass and molar mass is given. Simple M and capital M is given. Have you heard of the word molar mass? Is it yes or no? Puta, come on, huh? You heard of, right? What is molar mass of a species? What is molar mass of a species? Someone please, what do you confidently say? Otherwise you are like from grade 4 or 5 නේ එක මුකුත් දන්නේ නැහැ බබාලා වගේ ඉන්නේ. හරි? That is impossible. What is molar mass? Mass of a unit mole. Mass of a 1 mole of a given species. Am I correct? Yes, right? Let's say, listen to me. Let's say we are considering the chemical component called CO2. You know the relative atomic mass of carbon is 12, the relative atomic mass of oxygen is 16. 12 plus 16 into 2. 16 into 2 means 32. 12 plus 32 means 44. Hence, the molar mass of CO2 is said to be 44 grams per mole. Am I correct? So this is called the formula mass of this component. Chemical formula I can relative atomic masses වලින් calculate කරන mass එක which is said to be the formula mass of this component. Once we add grams per mole unit for the formula mass of a given species, then it becomes the molar mass of that species, right? So the formula mass of CO2 is 44, 12 plus 16 into 2. But the molar mass of CO2 is 44 grams per mole, which means 1 mole of carbon dioxide, 1 mole of carbon dioxide molecules, or else in other words, 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number of carbon, the mass of 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number of carbon dioxide molecules is how many grams? 44 grams. 1 mole of carbon dioxide is 44 grams. You know what the mole is? 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number of units, right? The mass of 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 units of carbon dioxide molecules is how much? 44 grams, which is called to be molar mass. So we are going to calculate the mole quantity when the sample mass and molar mass is given for a given species. Before going into that, we will write down a short note, a brief description regarding this, the molar mass, right? ලියන්න පැරග්‍රාෆ් එකක මෙහෙම normal පැරා එකක ඔය B කියන සබ් ටොපික් එකේ යටතේ මෙහෙම molar mass is defined to be molar mass is defined to be the mass of unit mole මවුල එකක 1 mole කිව්වත් කමන්නේ unit mole කියලා තමයි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අත්‍තරම කියන්නේ the mass of a unit mole of a given species mass of a unit mole of a given species molar mass is defined to be a mass of a unit mole of a given species the mass of a unit mole of a given species where formula mass will be calculated by means of where formula mass is calculated by means of relative atomic masses of constituent atoms relative atomic masses of constituent atoms ඒ කියන්නේ සංඝටක පරමාණු ඒ component එක හදන්න use වෙන පරමාණු කියන එක constituent atoms by means of relative atomic masses of constituent atoms and chemical formula I have to have a smooth writing. I'll be repeating the paragraph again. Molar mass is defined to be the mass of a unit mole of a given species. Full stop. Where formula mass will be calculated by means of relative atomic masses of constituent atoms and chemical formula and the formula කියන දැන් full stop එක දාන්න එපා and ඉස්සලා වචනෙන් ලියන්න පුතා right ඉස්සලා වචනෙන් ලියන්න and like this grams per mole slash එකක් දාලා unit representation එක දාන්න gmol minus 1 and grams per mole gmol minus 1 unit will be placed then after grams per mole unit ekakaya will be placed then after එතකොට කවුරුහරි කෙනෙක්ගේ formula mass එක calculate කරලා grams per mole කියන unit එක දැම්මහම තමයි molar mass එක එන්නේ. හරි මම molar mass එක ගන්න කියවෙන්නේ the molar mass is defined to be. හරි අපි මේක ඉස්සල්ලා solid වෙන්න examples දෙක තුනක් කරලා ඉමු right. example write down the molar masses of following species. Write down the molar masses of following species. Using grams per mole unit. Write down the molar masses of following species using grams per mole unit. Using grams per mole unit. හරි. Within brackets unit කියන තැන within brackets මම කට්ටියගේ relative atomic masses ටික දෙන්නම්. ඒවට papers වලත් දෙනවා. හරි. Within brackets hydrogen equals 1, H equals 1. ඔය ටික use කරලා තමයි calculate කරන්න වෙන්නේ. ඔයාට formula mass එක අරන් unit එක දාන්න දෙන්නේ. comma carbon equals 12. Carbon equals 12. comma nitrogen equals what? Relative atomic mass of nitrogen. Paper එකේ දෙනවා, but you have to memorize this stuff. Come on. 14. Nitrogen equals 14. comma oxygen equals 16. Oxygen equals 16. comma sodium equals 23. Sodium equals 23. comma sulfur equals 32. Sulfur equals 32. comma calcium equals 40. Calcium equals 40. Calcium equals 40. හරි. ඒතර ඔන්න කට්ටියගේ relative atomic masses මට මේ species 8 molar masses ටික calculate කරලා දෙන්න ටක් ගාලා formula mass එක ගත්තා, grams per mole කියන unit එක දැම්මා. Right. විනාඩි දෙකක් දෙනවා. 2 minutes will be given. You have to come up with your own answers as soon as possible. Come on Puda. Do it. Calculate the molar masses of given species using grams per mole unit. තර formula mass එක ගත්තා, grams per mole කියන GMOL -1 කියන unit එක දැම්මා. Done. Right. Puda, check whether you got the correct answers. CO2. Right. I'm doing it mentally. Carbon equals 12. Oxygen means 16 into 2, 32. 12 plus 32 means what? 44. Unit has to be placed. Grams per mole. Am I correct? What's the meaning of this? How do you feel it? Which says 1 mole of carbon dioxide molecules means 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number of carbon dioxide molecules. The mass of that number of carbon dioxide molecules would be how many grams? 44 grams. That's how we interpret it. Understood what I'm saying? 6.022 number of into 10 to the power of 23 number of CO2 molecules will be weighing 44 grams. That's what it says. That is called molar mass. Understood? Right. 1 into 2 plus 16, the formula mass is 18. Once we add these grams per mole unit, it's 18 grams per mole. 23 plus 16, 39. 39 plus 1 is 40, right? The formula mass is 40. Unit has to be added. The molar mass of NaOH is 40 grams per mole. 23 into 2 means 46. I hope you know these things, right? 23 into 2 is 46 and all, right? Since you are not answering me, I am not getting anything inside you. I don't know. Carbon equals 12. Oxygen means 16 into 3, 48, right? So 46 plus 12, which is 58. 58 plus 48, if I am not mistaken, you would have come up with the answer 106. Is it 106 grams per mole? The molar mass of ammonia, 14 plus 3, 17 grams per mole. Molar mass of sulfuric, 2 plus 32, 34, 34 plus 64, 98 grams per mole. The molar mass of calcium carbonate would be 100 grams per mole. Am I correct, Lamai? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So these are the molar masses of these species, right? So we are at the subtopic B, where we have to determine number of moles of a given species when its sample mass and molar mass is given. Now we know what molar mass is and how to determine the molar mass of a given species, right? We'll move into the business, right? So it's like this, Fuda. When the sample mass, simple m, and molar mass, capital M, is known for a given species, right? The mole quantity N will be calculated by dividing sample mass from molar mass. But here you have to keep this thing in mind. Sample mass has to be taken in grams. Molar mass has to be presented in moles, grams per mole, where you get the mole quantity in moles. So this is what we use, right? We may write down the paragraph and write down the equation so that we can do 1 or 2 mathematical sums, right? Okay, yating rulak deka katala, come to a new paragraph and write. Alut parayaka lemu. The mole quantity available in a given sample, the mole quantity available in a given sample, the mole quantity available in a given sample, the mole quantity available in a given sample the mole quantity available in a given sample can be determined by dividing its sample mass can be determined by dividing its sample mass from molar mass of given species. From molar mass of given species. Right. මේ equation එක ලියලා කොටු කරන්න ළමයි units උත් දාන්න මොන units වලින්ද substitute කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. Mole quantity simple n equals mole quantity simple n equals sample mass which is simple m divided by molar mass, that is capital M. Sample mass simple m divided by molar mass capital M, right? units දාන්න sample mass එක grams වලින් තමයි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි present කරන්නේ. molar mass එක grams per mole, mole quantity එක ඉන්නේ moles වලින්. මේ mole කියන එක ගැන මේ මම උගන්වනවා. ඔයාලා O level කාලේ දන්න දෙයක්. I can't proceed with unit 1, the first lesson of A level syllabus without tutes. You have to have your tutes in hand by 13th Friday, which is our next class day. There onwards, I'll be conducting the class 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. on Fridays, or else I can convert it to 3 to 6 p.m. once school is started. So, school we can commence it at 3. But anyway, 13th වෙද්දි හැමෝගේ මතේ tute pack එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ. As I said earlier, every one of you must be having your tute packs in hand. එතකන් අද දවස අපරාධي වෙන්න බෑ. මම පළවෙනි දවසේ ඉඳන් උගන්වනවා. That's how we do our classes. We are not talking too much, we are just working, right? So එකයි මම මේ O level කාලේ අමාරු A levels වලට ඕනේ මේ mole එක ගැන අවශ්‍ය කරන තොරතුරු ටික ඉගෙනුවේ, right? That's how I taught about mole. So we must be capable of deriving mole quantity at two situations where number of molecules are given, dividing it by Avogadro's constant, or else where the mass of a given sample is given. Mass of a sample is given. එතකොට අපි කරන්න ඕනේ molar mass එකෙන් divide කරන එක. So මේ equation එක practice වෙන්න we'll do 2 or 3 examples, right? Example 1. Example 1. Right. You have to come up with your own answers as soon as possible. Work hard lamai, right? Work smartly rather. Determine the mole quantity of CO2, the number of moles of CO2, the mole quantity can be the number of moles of CO2, whatever, the number of moles of CO2, determine the number of moles of CO2 available number of moles of CO2 available inside a 4.4 gram weighted sample. Number of CO2 moles available inside a 4.4 gram weighted sample. බර ග්‍රෑම් 4.4ක් වුණු sample එක. In 4.4 gram weighted sample. WEIGHTED. 4.4 gram weighted sample. Right. Within brackets, you may need the relative atomic masses of carbon and oxygen so that you can calculate the molar mass of this. Carbon equals 12, comma, oxygen equals 16. Carbon equals 12, comma, oxygen equals 16. Right. Uda, first you have to write this, right? Sentence එකක් ලියන්න ඕනේ මුලින්ම. The molar mass of lines දෙකකට කරලා ලියන්න CO2. හරි. ඊට පස්සේ equation එක ලියලා substitute කරලා මට answer එක ඕනේ. ඉස්සලා මේක calculate කරලා පෙන්නන්න. ඊට පස්සේ n equals m by capital M equation එක ලියලා substitute කරලා answer එක ගන්න. Done. Me? Lamai. What is the molar mass of CO2? 12 plus 16 into 2. 16 into 2 means 32. 12 plus 32 means 44. Unit has to be placed. Grams per mole. Am I correct? 44 grams per mole. Right. We are supposed to calculate the mole quantity of CO2 available in this sample, no? When the mass is given, the mole quantity will be calculated by dividing mass from molar mass. Right. I'm writing the equation then. Mole quantity equals sample mass divided by molar mass, where the sample mass of this particular sample is 4.4 grams divided by molar mass is calculated to be 44 grams per mole. Right. Gram to gram cancel, moles udata yanawa. N equals, if I am not mistaken, 0.1 moles. Am I correct? N equals 0.1 moles. Raise your hands if you got this correct. Super. Last one, example 2. Example 2. අපි පස්සේ මේ වගේ ලොකු exercises කරමු, right? For the moment, we'll go like this. 2 examples will be enough. Example 2. Right. Determine the mass of an ammonia sample, determine the mass of an ammonia sample, determine the mass of ammonia sample, where 0.6 moles of ammonia are in excitance. 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 Within brackets, nitrogen equals 14, hydrogen equals 1. Nitrogen equals 14, hydrogen equals 1. Right, up to you. We are supposed to determine the mass of an ammonia sample where 0.6 moles of ammonia is in excitance. Ammonia මවුල 0.6ක් තියෙන ammonia sample එකක mass එක calculate කරන්න කියලා කියනවා. First, you derive the molar mass of ammonia. That's the first step. The molar mass of ammonia. The molar mass of ammonia. Then you can write the equation and get the answer. What is the sample mass? Right, Lamai, what is the molar mass of ammonia? What did you get? Molar mass of ammonia is what? 14 plus 1 into 3 means 3, which is 17 grams per mole. Am I correct? Yes, no? Right. So we are supposed to calculate the mass of sample where the number of moles and the mole quantity is given to be 0.6, no? Right. The mole quantity equals sample mass divided by molar mass. That's what we know. The mole quantity is 0.6 moles. The sample mass has to be calculated. Molar mass found to be 17 grams per mole. You have to multiply, cross multiply the thing. Ne? So the sample mass, the mass of this ammonia sample is coming to be 6 into 7, 80, 42, 6 into 1, 6, 4, 1, 0. Is it 10.2 grams? Yes or no? Yes, right. The sample mass is 10.2 grams. Raise your hands. Right, good. You are done with this, right? හරි. එතකොට මෙන්න මේ විදිහට mass එක දුන්නාම mole quantity එකට යන්න නැත්නම් number of molecules දුන්නාම mole quantity එකට යන්න මේ moles වල calculations වලට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. මම මේ O level කාලේ තියෙන ඒවා ටිකක් organize කරා. මේවා නෙමෙයි O level කාලේ තිබ්බේ. These are the sums you got, but this was very very difficult when compared to this නේ. දැන් අද ඉගෙන ගන්න තරම් easy වුන්නේ නැහැ නේ මේවා. අමාරු වුණානේ හෙට මෙට දාන්න. But now මම ඔය advance විදිහට වැඩ කරනවා කියන එකේ වෙනස with this 1 to 2 hours of working, the life becomes easier for you, Puta. When it comes to grade 10 and 11, you found this to be very difficult, right? You are unable to calculate these stuff and things like that are there. But when you come up with right thought process, right? When you come up with right thought process, the life becomes more easier. So that's what systematic teaching is. We have our tools, we have our materials, which are very systematic and well formatted, so that everything becomes more and more easier to you. You don't need to put utmost effort. You just simply need to put little effort so that you are hanging around with us. So you are driving to your destination. Ultimately, you will be finishing up in your destination. So that's what our experience does, right? So follow it. I mean, just confidently trust us. You will be ending up with your destination without applying any, unbearable pressure on your minds. ඕනෑති pressure එකක් නැතුව systematic process එකකින් අපේ teaching experience එකත් එක්ක ඔයාව බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන destination එකට drive කරන්න, it's very simple and very possible, right? ළමයි, so this is what I wanted to discuss. අද දවස ටියුට් නැති හින්දා I was planning, අද මං ගෙදරින් එන ගමන් plan කරන් ආවේ the mole කියන concept එක මං ඔලුවට දාලා දෙනවා කියලා, right? Right. So if I brief you what been taught today, right? The mole is the quantity of 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 pieces of a given species. If we take 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number of electrons, then that sample becomes a mole of electrons. When we take 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 humans, then that sample becomes a mole of humans. When we take 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 ants, then it's a mole of ants. When we take 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 cations or anions, whatever the ions, I would say ions, then it becomes a mole of ions. Understood what I'm saying? Right. So that 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 number is believed to be Avogadro's constant, which is scientifically defined as number of carbon atoms available in exactly 12.0000 grams of C12 isotope. C12 isotopes එකේ gram 12ක තියෙන carbon atoms ගන්න විදියට තමයි මේ Avogadro constant එක define කරන්නේ. Right. We must be capable of determining the mole quantity of a given species under two circumstances. First, its number of molecules are given. Second, its sample mass is given. Right. When the number of molecules are given, that will be divided by Avogadro's constant to come up with mole quantity. When the sample mass is given, it will be divided by molar mass to come up with mole quantity. Am I correct? Right. What is molar mass? Molar mass means the mass of a unit mole, the mass of a 1 mole of a given species. How do we calculate the molar mass? We simply observe the chemical formula of that species and we calculate the formula mass based on relative atomic masses of constituent each and every element, right? We add on the grams per mole, GMOL minus 1 unit. Then it becomes, it showcases the unit mole mass or else molar mass of that species. That's what we do. Am I correct, Pudha? Is it correct or not? Talk, huh? Correct, yes or no? That's what, right? හරි එතකොට මේ ඔන් ඔය පාර්ට් එක තමයි අපිට තියෙන්නේ when it comes to the mole concept according to the A level syllabus we have one more thing to be done අපි තව එකක් කරන්න ඕනේ A level syllabus එකේ gaseous compound එකක gas එකක හරි sample volume එකයි molar volume එකයි දන්නවා නම් mole quantity එක calculate කරන්නත් අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ මේක O levels වල තිබ්බ නැති එකක් this is up to A levels අපි දැන් mole කියන concept එක ගැන කතා කරපින්ද ඒකත් ඔහිම කරලම දාමුද ඉවරනේ එතකොට ඒක හරි right subtopic simple C කට්ටියම දාන්න subtopic simple C ලියන්න determining of mole quantity which is simple N determining of mole quantity within brackets simple N for a gaseous compound වායුමය අවස්ථාවේ ඉන්න chemical එකකට for a gaseous compound determining of mole quantity for a gaseous compound where sample volume within brackets capital V and molar volume at STP standard temperature and pressure and the molar volume at STP within brackets V naught are given molar volume at STP standard temperature and pressure are given V naught are given molar volume at STP are given හරි ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ පුතා gas එකක් විදිහට ඉන්න chemical එකක mole quantity එක calculate කරන්න එයාගේ දැන් අපිට දීලා තියෙන sample එකේ volume එකයි when it's sample volume and molar volume එයාගේ mole එකක volume එක at standard temperature and pressure is given හරි එතකොට ඔන්න ඔය කතන්දරය අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ right keep this thing in mind පුතා molar volume at STP for any gaseous component ඕනේ gas එකක එක mole එකක volume එක molar volume එක at standard temperature and pressure here standard temperature means 0 degrees of Celsius which is 273 Kelvin standard pressure means 1 atm which is 1 into 10 to the power of 5 pascals මෙන්න මේ standard temperature and pressure වලදී ඕනෙම gaseous chemical එකක molar volume එක constant the molar volume at STP ඕනෙම gaseous chemical එකක molar volume එක at STP constant equals 22.4 cubic decimeters per mole 22.4 cubic decimeters per mole right අපි මේවා A level වල ඉගෙන ගන්නවා දැන් අපි නිකන් චුට්ටක් විතරක් ලියලා තියෙමු එතකොට මේක constant එතකොට මෙන්න මේ figure එකෙන් මේ ෆිගර් එකෙන් V0 කියන මේ ෆිගර් එකෙන් මේ බෙදුවාම එන එක තමයි ගන්නෙ. හරි. අපි නිකන් පොඩි පැරා එකක් ලියමු. එක්සැම්පල්ස් දැම්ම මේකෙන් කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. එක එක්සැම්පල් එකක් ඕනනම් කරමු ඒ ඇති. right 5 minutes අරන් අපි පොඩි නෝට් එකක් ලියමු. ලියන්න පුතා C කියන සබ් ටොපික් එකට අදාළව මේ පැරා එකක මෙහෙම you may write down under a paragraph. According to GCE A-level chemistry syllabus, chemistry new syllabus, according to GCE A-level G.C.T GCE A-level chemistry new syllabus, according to GCE A-level chemistry new syllabus, according to GCE A-level chemistry new syllabus, we must be capable of determining the mole quantity of a given gaseous chemical. We must be capable of determining the mole quantity. We must be capable of determining the mole quantity of a given gaseous chemical, mole quantity of a given gaseous chemical, mole quantity of a given gaseous chemical, mole quantity of a given gaseous chemical when its sample volume n molar volume at standard temperature and pressure is known. Molar volume at standard temperature and pressure are known when its sample volume and molar volume at standard temperature and pressure are known. Molar volume at standard temperature and pressure are known. Molar volume at standard temperature and pressure are known. Where, you may continue your writing, where standard temperature refers to 0 degrees of Celsius, centigrade අංශක බිඳුව. Where standard temperature refers to 0 degrees of Celsius, while standard pressure refers to while standard pressure refers to 1 into 10 to the power of 5 pascals. 1 into, everything is there in the board, 1 into 10 to the power of 5 pascals, where standard pressure refers to 1 into 10 to the power of 5 pascals. 1 into 10 to the power of 5 pascals. Right. නිකන් අපි පොඩි brief summary එකක් දාමු, short note එකක් වගේ. Standard temperature means this, standard pressure means this, molar volume at STP, symbol එක V0, right? Molar volume at STP V0 equals 22.4 cubic decimeters per mole. 22.4 cubic decimeters per mole. 22.4 cubic decimeters per mole. .4 cubic decimeters per mole. Cubic decimeters per mole. paragraph එකක් continue කරන්න. You may continue your writing after this short note as well. The mole quantity of a gaseous state chemical, the mole quantity of a gaseous state chemical, the mole quantity of a gaseous state chemical will be equivalent to the mole quantity of a gaseous state chemical will be equivalent to the mole quantity of a gaseous state chemical will be equivalent to the mole quantity of a gaseous state chemical will be equivalent to the mole quantity of a gaseous state chemical will be equivalent to the ratio between its sample volume, the ratio between its sample volume the ratio between its sample volume expressed in cubic decimeters, expressed in cubic decimeters, expressed in cubic decimeters divided by නැත්නම් ratio between expressed in cubic decimeter divided by molar volume, divided by molar volume, divided by molar volume. right, මෙන්න මේ equation එක අපි ලියමු. sample volume එක cubic decimeters වලින් ගන්න එක තමයි ලේසි. molar volume එක cubic decimeters per mole එන්නේ. එතකොට mole quantity එක එන්නේ moles වලින්. මේ දෙන්නගේ ratio එක තමයි සාමාන්‍ය mole quantity එක කියලා අපි කියන්නේ. එතකොට ඔන්න ඔය circumstances තුන විතරයි අපිට ඕනේ. those are the circumstances which is necessary. අපිට we have to be capable of determining mole quantity when sample mass is given, when number of atoms or molecules of the given species are given, when the sample volume is given, especially it is given to be a gaseous state chemical. A gaseous state chemical එකක් නම් ආගේ sample volume එක දෙන්න ඕනි. So මේ circumstances වලදී if we can calculate the mole quantity of a given species in these three circumstances, so we are done with our A level depth. මේක තමයි A level depth එක. mole එක ගැන A level කාලේ දැනන් ඉන්න තියෙන්නේ up to this content only. Understood? So this mole quantity n කියලානේ හැමතැනම refer වුනේ. mole quantity n equals sample volume V divided by molar volume V naught. Right. එක example එකක් කරමු. Right? Example මේ equation එක ලියලා ඒක highlight කරලා finish it off and go with this example. Determine the mole quantity of a CH4 sample. Determine the mole quantity of a CH4 sample. Determine the mole quantity of a CH4 sample. Determine the mole quantity of a CH4 sample which occupies which occupies 4.48 cubic decimeters volume, which occupies 4.48 cubic decimeters volume, which occupies 4.48 cubic decimeters volume at standard temperature and pressure. At standard temperature and pressure. Which occupies 4.48 cubic decimeters volume at standard temperature and pressure. Standard temperature and pressure. Standard temperature and pressure. Right. Lamai, see. The sample volume is given, molar volume is known, right? 22.4 cubic decimeters per mole. It's a constant figure. And we have to come up the mole quantity, right? You may write down the equation first. N equals V divided by V naught. Right. N equals V, the sample volume of given CH4 sample is 4.48 cubic decimeters divided by the molar volume is 22.4 cubic decimeters per mole. 22.4 cubic decimeters per mole. You may come up with your answer. N equals 0.2 moles. Am I correct? 0.2 moles. N equals 0.2 moles. Right. That's all. Now you are thorough with 3 formulas, right? You are thorough with 3 formulas. What are the formulas that you are referring? When you are supposed to determine the mole quantity of a given species, when number of molecules available in the sample is given, or else the mass of the sample is given, or else the volume of the sample is given. Am I correct? Right. When number of molecules available in the samples is given, how you determine the mole quantity of that sample? This is being divided from Avogadro's constant. When the mass is given, it will be divided by what? The molar mass of that. If it's a gaseous state chemical, right? When the sample volume is given, you can come up with the mole quantity of that sample by dividing this from molar volume at STP, which is 22.4 cubic decimeters per mole. That is not changing with the gas. For SO2, CO2, O2, helium, xenon, or whatever the gas, this is constant, molar volume at STP. This is constant. The figure is what? The figure is 22.4 cubic decimeters per mole. Got what I said? Got what I said? Come on. Yes or no? Until you loudly say yes, I'm not finishing this off. Yes or no? Not enough. Yes or no? Right. Please talk, Lamai. Otherwise, it's very boring. If you are not responding me properly. Right. How was the day? Was it good or bad? How was it? How was it, men? Good or bad? Okay, thank you. Right. One more thing. Teaching, everything is done. Right. But I have to come up with some, what do you call, announcements, or I have to come up with some information, right? Right. Listen to me carefully, Buddhi. Right. So today was the first day. Right. I'm done with the academic session of day 1. Right. So it's like this, Buddha. Listen to me very, very carefully. You have to get your tute pack to your hand by next Friday, not day after tomorrow, 13th Friday. I'm giving you 8 days. Right? So we are meeting on 13th Friday, which is 13th of March. Right? Time slot would be 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Which is more convenient to you guys? Is it 3 to 6 or 2:30 to 5:30? Which is more convenient? 2:30 is better. Raise your hands if you are convenient with 2:30. Right. Okay, fine. So until the school starts. If school starts and it will take more time, let's say you are finishing your school at 2 o'clock, if they extend half an hour more, then we'll shift this to 3 to 6, right? But anyway, I need 3 hours slot from your week. For the moment, we'll keep it 2:30 to 5:30. So these are the, I mean, we have to have 4 class days per month at least, no? So these are the class days, 13th, 20th, and 27th of March, 2:30 to 5:30. Sorry? So this is our class slot for this month. For April, May onwards, time, I mean, a shifting of time slot will be there based on your requirements, not for my requirements. Maybe 3 to 6, 2:30 to 5:30, or 2:30 to 6, like, whatever. But day will not be changed hereafter, right? Friday evening, that is my slot. Listen to me, Lamai, listen to me. Right, so you have 3 options. You can, I mean, the students around Kurunegala, you can come to Ziyon physically. That's what I recommend more and more and more. Because I want, I mean, I'm familiar to conduct classes with 800, 900, 1000, 1200 like of students. So I'm more familiar to work with guys with loud answers and more responses and stuff like that. So I want you guys to come physically. Ask all your friends around Kurunegala to come physically to Ziyon, right? So that is my first choice. But you know, it's quite obvious that all of the guys cannot come physically, no. Island-wide classes I'm conducting via websites, no. So the physical class is at Ziyon. That's a good option to people around Kurunegala. Right. You can inquire about all these physical classes by means of this number, North 777 50 7750. So this is my coordinator's number. You can ask anything about physical classes and all. Right. For the people who are coming to the physical classes, who are willing to come to physical classes or whatever, listen to me. Puda, you have to buy this tute pack, which is there in the institute counter, before 13th, right? Buy it before 13th. By 13th, you must be having it on your hand. Right? That's the first thing. Right. Then you have 2 other options. You can join our classes mainly via www.ccgonline.lk website. So this is physical option. For the distance learning or the online class option, you can join with us via www.ccgonline.lk website, where you can call, I would give you the number, right, where you can call 0770, right, 702 702. මේ නම්බර් එකට call කරලා මේ website එක through අපේ online classes වලට payment කරන්න. Right. So if you are attending online classes rather than attending into physical classes, you have to make the payment as soon as possible and get the tubes shipped, because it will take 4 to 5 days tubes to be shipped. So the 13th වෙද්දි tubes තියෙන්න නම් Friday වෙද්දි 6 7th 8 මේ දවස් දෙක තුන ඇතුලේ you make the payment and get your copies, because we have limited number of tube packs, so that it will not be delaying your process and you will be getting the tube packs, right? Not only this website, you can follow this website as well. This is my own website, right? www.echemistry.lk www.echemistry.lk. So this is my own website where I can manage a lot of things for you. North 777 50 7750 would be the hotline number for this. So you have these 2 online options, right? These are online options. Everything will be very convenient. You will be getting all these things. But for the online students, I'm recommending few things. First, subscribe into our WhatsApp channel. Then you can get the Telegram channel link, so that move to Telegram channel. And you are getting the Ask from NJ link for live classes. You have to ask questions and respond me using the Telegram channel by next class onwards. Right? Get your tutes to your hand by making the payment on or before 10th, so that on or before 8th, so that you are getting tutes on 13th. 13th, I'm using the tutes and moving forward. So these are the online options. We have two online options. For the physical students, you can get the tutes from Ziyon counter, right? Be there on 13th of March, which is next Friday, 2:30 to 5:30. So that is our usual slot. For online students who are missing this live class, this particular class, they can watch recordings at any given times. I mean, the 13th class recording, keep this thing in mind, keep these things noted. The 13th class recording will be uploaded by 14th of March midnight. So, from 15th of March to 19th of March. Repeat will be available for 5 days. 15th, I mean, class එක තියෙන්නේ 13th නම් 14th අපි upload කරනවා. ඒතකොට ඒක දවස් අරලා ඊට පස්සේ 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. ඔය දවස් පහේ or කැමති වෙලාවක convenient time you can go and see the repeat. ඒතකොට 20th ඊළඟ live එක තියෙනවා. 21st එකේ repeat එක upload කරනවා. 22nd ඉඳන් 26th වෙනකන් ඊළඟ live එකට කලින් දවසේ රෑ 12 වෙනකන් you can see the repeat. That's how the process recurs. නැවත නැවත ඔක වෙන්නේ එහෙම. Right? Understood what I'm saying? So you can take either of options and get it. And the best thing, please listen lamai, pass the message among all of your friends, because even though I am one of the top guys when it comes to single medium chemistry classes island wide, this is very new to me. Most of the people, they don't know that I'm conducting an English medium class this year onwards. They don't know this, right? So I need your support. You know who are the friends who are doing chemistry for 2028. You know who your colleagues very well, right? Right. Please, from today onwards, for next 2 to 3 days, convey the message as much as you can. That's a big favor for me, right? Convey the message for all your colleagues, all your friends, please, right? And ask them to grab their tute set by 13 and join with us. And for the guys who are coming physically, right, Pudha, please convey the message for all your friends. Ask them to come to Ziyon next 13th. Understood what I'm saying? Right. I'm transferring the responsibility. Each one of you must be passing the message for at least 5 of your colleagues. Right? Please convey the message. I need that support because everyone has to be known this. Right? So that's it. That's what I want to emphasize. Keep that thing noted. I complete the syllabus 5 months prior to the exam. I use tute set, my workbook and past paper question book. I go chapter based learning system, right? So I told you about my profile, right? I became island 11. I have a chemical engineering degree with a first class. I have a master's. If you find a profile which is more stronger than mine, I have island first and 8 out of first 20, everything. If you find a profile which is more stronger than me, you just go to him or her, whatever. But if you don't find someone at least near to my profile, the strength of my profile, don't compromise this class for cheaper thing, because you will have to suffer at your exams, right? So that is what I have to convey. So all the other things are clear as far as I think. We'll wind up the session for today. So see you guys on 13th, right? Right. Cheers, Pudha. Have a nice week. We'll see you on 13th.